Says that with Jose Carlin. Now we know all there's something about ticks. It's horrible. All right, so in a right-hand view, I'm going to take we're going to start our run cycle. We're doing a run with the walk cycle. And I am going to delete out everything but the three keys, the first, the last keys. Actually, I'm going to delete the last key, so I'm just going to save the first two. And it's really just time saving, right? I'm going to take frame 15. A run cycle is generally 10 to 12 frames. Do you want to do 10 or 12? Let's do 12. It'll be a slow one. She's not a very fast runner. I'm going to reset my frames to 12. And then I go back to the first one, and we're going to set her pose. We set her pose. The first frame of a walk or a run or anything like that, right, is always the the one that has the most distance. It covers the most distance. And don't forget to move the pole vector because it's cranky. Where is it? Is that it? That's this one. Hidden behind her leg. All right. Because I've upended where the pole vector likes to be for some reason. It's making me move it. So this is maximum stride. First frame of any run, any locomotion animation, run, jump, any of that sort of stuff is always maximum stride, meaning the full distance that somebody will be traveling. In this case, how her legs are spread and stuff. And then you see, because I already dialed in the walk, her hips are always already a little turned, and um, her arms are in right position. I use that pose to get me halfway there. And she's going to run like Tom Cruise, or you can put her hands in fists. We'll just have her run like Tom Cruise. Now the issue with doing, there's two issues. It's like the good and the bad of this, right? The good of doing a run cycle is that it's only 12 frames. So you really only have like 3 or 4 frames you're setting. The bad of it is it's only 12 frames. And um, the bad of it is, so the good is that, yeah, you got to get them right. The bad is, the good is there's only 12 frames. The bad is you got to get them right or else they don't work. So this is our frame one. And I just saved this as my run. That's going to suck. I'm going to save this as run.
Hummus. Hummus.
Um, so everybody get their character into a pose like this, right? If you look at it from the front, it looks like this. Legs kind of set apart, maximum air stride, do like that. And then we need to go to frame 6 and do just the opposite. And see, I'm not moving her hips up any higher than they normally are. I left them where they were. So I really just need to then, so if red foot's forward on there on frame 6, blue foot has to be forward. And don't forget to move the pole vector up because it's cranky when you extend beyond where it should be. Um, there, there. Blue arm back. Left view. Right arm up. Do, 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 do. You can use a marker to see how high her foot is, like if I mark this um, with this little box, like that's the tip of her heel, and I go to frame 6, you can see that this foot is a lot higher. So you can match these up like that, and you can do it this way too, there. Oops, went the wrong way with it. Get this out of the way. Cool. So now we have 2 poles to this animation. And of course, you want to take your first frame and copy that to your last frame. And that's all there is to a run. I wish it was that easy. All right, so now we have our poles, right? We have 1, 6, and 12. So on frame 3, we need to do a compression frame. And so what you do is you figure out what foot is up in the air. So for us, the first foot coming back is red, right? See the red foot coming back? So on frame 3, we're actually going to lower her entire body down. And I'm going to spin it a little bit forward. And then I'm going to put the foot down on the ground underneath her, and I'm going to roll it up. Now, it's kind of a weird thing, but you really don't want the feet actually kind of touching the ground so much. So I'm not going to, if I had the foot go flat here, when she ran, it wouldn't look, um, oh, I didn't have a center thing set for her waist on the mid frame. When she ran, it would look like she was flopping, like flip-flopping. But if you just have her graze the ground, then it looks much better. I didn't set keys for her on the middle frame. I just assumed they were already set, and they were not. So now I need to bring this back up, this to meet that box. So there's on the box there. I gotta rotate it. Oh, so much stuff to do. And then move it over so that they're exactly the same place. I made frames on frame 7 for some reason. Doo-doo, doo-doo. All right, then we go to frame 9 and we reverse that out. So if the blue foot's coming back, if the red foot hits there, and let's put this little box here so we know where it's going. Then on frame 9, we can set keys here. And we know the blue foot's coming down, and it should be right there. And then we can see on frame 3, where the hips are, right there. And I can put this right there. And 9. I can then don't want your little box to have animation on it. Okay, frame 3. Move this up here. Attach this to the end of that bar there. Frame 9. Grab that. And I want it to be there, but rotate it forward. And boom, it's a run cycle. Look how exciting that is. Now you can go in here, once you have this part of it done, you can go in and fix it because this, when her foot comes down, the fact that it hits there isn't very good. So what we want to do is on frame 2, we're going to help this along a little bit. I'm going to just move this down here to the ground and I'm going to rotate her foot up like this. So boom, and then here, and then it launches. And then I'm going to do the same with the other foot on frame 7, I guess, and have it hit the ground. Wow, why is it so high up? And that'll make it look a little better. All right, any questions? No? Everybody okay? Do, do, do. Great. So you can also do stuff like on frame 3 here. You can rotate her body down. But once you get that base motion down, the rest of it is like the walk cycle where you're just kind of dialing in what kind of a run you want her to do. And honestly, like I said, you don't have that many frames to screw around with anyways on a run cycle. So like on frame 3, the body can come down. On frame 9, the body can come down. It doesn't even do, it's dropping frames when it's playing back for me, so it doesn't even show, not even an accurate visual of what it's doing, which is crazy. Do, 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 do. So when you have animations like this, that go by really fast, um, sometimes it's a good idea to try and get like the hands and stuff to stay in one spot for a long time. Uh, so instead of having an even rotation, you can have them like on frame 3, you can keep the arm up there for longer, and then it'll look like she's quick pumping it back. And then on frame 9, you can do the same thing um, with the other one. It just depends on how it's working for you. But all that stuff kind of changes what you're doing. It's also probably a good idea to, it's ridiculous, to to not um, to not try and do too much. Like maybe she doesn't need her arm like way up there. It could be down here. You can minimize the amount of movement. The legs have to move how the legs are, but the arms don't have to get in there and confuse everything all the hell by moving a lot. So you can do something like this where they don't move that much. And my extreme body posing and stuff is bad. So let's go ahead and dial in this bit here. Windows, Animation Editor, Graph Editor. Don't need you. I should just make one of these and then force you guys to clean it up for me. Those are equal now. I'm not sure what's going on there, but you can go away. Oh, that's the hips twisting. Gotcha. I'm just equalizing all this stuff out because you can visually do it, but when you look at it at the graph editor, you for sure notice like, oh, crumb, those aren't equal, are they? It's the big equalizer. There we go. I went too much with my bends. 3, just a little bit. 9, just a little bit. Yeah, this is a run. And if you ever have any questions about your animation, like would it work in a game, just put it in third person perspective like this and look at it. You're like, oh, okay, I can be behind that character while she runs for hours at a time. That's not annoying or anything. And a weak person when they're running will bob their head, but a strong person's head will stay perfectly still. So if you want to add a little bit of head bob, it is just a little tiny bit here. Then that's it. So this is This is the run. Um, it's very simple. This is a very basic run. It can be dialed in quite a bit more. We have frames to play with. Sometimes I'll take this out to 24 frames um, so I can see it a little bit better because it's a little quick in here. Um, and then I'll reduce it back again, or I'll just have it play back twice the speed. But so you can kind of get a better idea of what's working and what isn't um, at 24 frames. But that's twice as fast as it should be, really. And if you start putting things in here to make this work, it could go all awry for you when you go ahead and speed it up. You can, by the way, you don't have to scale it to see what it looks like. You can just go in here and have it play twice as fast. Um, go on here and have it play 12 frames a second, I think is twice as slow. Let's see. Yeah. Oh no, it's playing 12. Cool. That's the run cycle.